Here
Yes,
we
we
go.
did it. Here we go. Hi, Rebel.
Hello, mentor.
It's so good to see you.
Always,
Here we
always,
are. Here we
always.
are. Here we are. Yes.
Yay. We're back. We're back.
So we're back.
We're back.
We're back. It's been a little while. We missed last month.
It's been a little while, but something happened called COVID-19.
Oh, that's in your town too?
Kind of changed a little bit of things in the
Made
world.
things a little
bit.
something. Little something.
Yeah.
So we're going to give everybody a minute or two to get on because we are a little delayed. But we have a special treat, don't we?
We do. I'm super excited.
One of the things that I think is really cool is sometimes getting an outside perspective on things. Here we are in the US, and we have a certain way of doing things and dealing with this COVID-19. And it's been interesting because on my team, I have a wonderful massage therapist. Her name is Athena. And Athena is actually the one who helped to introduce us. She was like, you got to check out the Rebel. You got to talk to the Rebel, the Rebel, the Rebel, 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 Rebel. Every time I went out into the other room on their little station, their workstation, there was the Rebel. Only the Rebel. So we decided to have Athena on because she is from Albania. And Albania is handling things a lot different than we're handling them. So let's give her a warm welcome. Let's get ready for Athena.
Sing it with me, everybody. Athena.
All the way from...
Where is she?
All the way from Albania.
We always have to dance when Athena comes on.
Hello.
Hi, Athena.
Dance, Athena.
I know. I have a video from a member.
So we're so excited to have you with us, Athena, so that you can tell us what's going on with the COVID-19 in Albania, because it is dramatically different. I think sometimes, we take for, the little bit of even freedom we have here in this situation for granted. So what's it like? What's a day like in Albania right now for you or your family?
Finally, after 2 months in isolation, now they have started to open up the economy, but the number of deaths there is it's low, and they have the reopening of the state in 3 phases, just like here. The schools are still closed, and the people now are moving freely, because before they were not allowed to go out.
Yeah, tell us what it was like when the orders were that you had to stay.
So they were in lockdown before we did here in US, maybe like a week and a half before US. Immediately the schools were closed. They stopped people even from driving. People were allowed to go out only 90 minutes a day.
Whoa.
With permission from the police, from the state. And if they were being caught without the permission on their phones, then they risked jail, a fee, or even they were not getting medical attention if they were sick. So it was more than here. Here we practice the social distancing more, and only one person per family was allowed to go for shopping, and the most vulnerable population was protected because they stopped visits. So it was more than here, more dramatic,
more strict.
And how was your family? I mean, you got to talk to them, right? How are they feeling? You're saying that they could get arrested. It was like it's no joke. So how are they feeling?
Well, they were as like everybody in Albania, they were allowed to go out only 90 minutes a day, and actually since from like the situation started. When the situation started, my family was like more united, and my parents were like going for a walk together instead of alone. So kind of it made them more closer. And yeah, just like everybody, 90 minutes a day, of course not easy for the economy of my family.
I also think that I would imagine that severe restriction shifts the mentality of it. I mean, I think that we are having this certain kind of emotional roller coaster that we're riding, but I can't even imagine not being able to go out for more than 90 minutes, or like it, and if the punishment is a fine or jail time, those are some strict measures.
I mean, that would be getting people home. That would be keeping people home.
Yeah, that would do it. That would do it.
Home Depot definitely wouldn't be full of cars.
No.
What were you going to say, Athena?
So, I mean, the prime minister, he took these precautions because Albania and Italy are just 1 hour away with flight, and since Italy was the epicenter of the deaths in Europe, he had to take these drastic precautions. So. Yeah.
And someone who just got on and asked, we're talking about Albania. So Athena comes to us all the way from Albania to Freedom Massage.
Yay!
Woo! Introducing me to the rebel. Woo!
Happy.
So we just want to get on. Athena, thank you so much for joining us. Should we play our song again?
Athena, your family is safe and good and healthy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. That's kind of the main thing I wanted to know. But other than that.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad everybody's safe, and please send your family the best.
Thank you.
That's a song for you.
Thank you, Athena. Thanks for getting on.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Amazing.
That's some serious stuff right there, right?
That's amazing. I just think that the scope of it all, and somebody else.
Oh, I forgot to wear my hat.
Diane got a hat from Albania. And it's just, you just wear it so well.
Thanks.
You do.
Thank you.
I think the US can learn something from all the countries. I think there's there's so many different ways that all the cities are handling this, and everybody's got this opinion that we can decide what COVID-19 is, or whether or not it even exists. I think there are people who are even protesting that it doesn't exist. And I feel like, there are countries where you don't even have the choice to go outside. And I feel like, the emotional roller coasters all over the globe right now must be massive.
Very much so. And I think, like I said, I'm 2 miles from my office. Now, there hasn't been anybody in this office since March 16th. We closed March 16th because that's what the governor said to do. I guess I could have argued with that. And I do, I feel like massage is a very important thing, but I just followed the guidelines. But when I would drive by the Home Depot, that's why I said Home Depot, there was literally, it was packed. Right. So like I said,
because everybody's doing home projects,
home improvements. So here, like I said, it's been a little more laid back. My new neighbors actually have been shut down with COVID. Their daughter and the wife has it, and she said it's like the worst thing in the whole wide world. She's had a fever every day, can't really do much. And
your new neighbor has it.
I know, we just moved, and my neighbor has it.
That's the most immediate connection I have. I don't know if anybody out there listening
knows
anybody, but I'm kind of looking around going, I don't know anybody immediately. I have like a classmate removed from high school that had it, but I don't know anybody who knows it. That's incredible that your new neighbor has it.
My new neighbor. It was wild. I thought I was like, ooh, she's in healthcare. So she's on the front line. So I guess it's not a huge surprise. So, but it was interesting. Because my wife was talking across the street to her. She's like, I have COVID. Can't really come over and say hello. Like, wow. Right.
Happy social distancing.
That was very, very close to home. Yes.
Yep.
So
friends of friends. Yeah.
So we're open for Q&A. If anybody has any questions for us, Rebel, you had said that you wanted to discuss a little bit about the essential business topic.
I do. I have been having this conversation with colleagues a lot, and I feel like it's a really important conversation to have. And I think this is a very important time for us in this way. So, as long as I have been a massage therapist, I have battled what lots of stuff coming up right now. I have battled how massage therapy has been seen in our community. And from when I first got certified, and I'm sure this is true for you too, Diane, there was always this air of like, oh, you're a massage therapist, like you do rub and tugs in the back, or there's a link A to something that is not appropriate, and B, like, you relax people. And A, first of all, relaxing people is no small feat. And B,
no, it's not. Yes,
it's not. It's not.
I like that.
And I think that like the big thing that I feel like is emerging for me from this is that, number one, physical therapy clinics are considered an essential business. And so when you look at what PT does, there is not a huge disconnect to what we do. I mean, granted, what we do has a broader scope of modality, and there's a lot of things that we do that are considered a little more luxurious, if that's the word, even more energetic. I'm not sure what, like, and then it becomes about what essential is. But I think even if you look at the Western definition of the word essential, and you're looking at the must needs, we are literally looking at people now there's so many people who live by themselves, and people who are in isolation with other people who don't practice touch for a living. And so there are hundreds of thousands of people right now who are quite literally needing touch. And it's not just a matter of human touch. It's a matter of like, people are aching. People are sitting around and aching and not getting the movement they need, and not getting the attention they need to movement. And then on top of that, there's all these like Zoom workouts and Zoom yoga classes, which are really good, but that should be accompanied with some really good therapeutic work. And I think that when it comes down to what's going to happen in massage therapy as we reemerge, I think it's going to boom. I think that like the demand for what we do is huge, but I also think how we move forward as massage therapists and defining ourselves as, like we are totally essential. We do work that people not only quite literally need for cellular health and mental health, but also need just to kind of function in a day-to-day world. So there's so many levels at which we can start to define this. And I think the more we articulate that and verbalize that and move forward with how we are seen in the government's eyes, how we are seen in our jurisdiction, how we are seen in healthcare, like there's so many ways at which we can elevate the status of the career of a massage therapist in this new day and age. And I think there's something we can do to take advantage of that I think is really important.
I couldn't agree more. And I remember as well, when I first started doing massage and I was handing out my cards at local businesses. I mean, I was in my late 20s, so it was a little while ago, 20 years or so. And I'm handing out my cards, and I remember the woman said, "Hey there, little massage girl." I was like, "Oh, hey there, little massage girl."
No.
Hey there, little massage.
Hell no.
The way that people saw us was like, and I think you made an awesome point. I just want people to really let this one sink in, because the Rebel made an awesome point. And that is that it's not an easy task to relax people. So if people are saying, "Oh, you just relax people," oh, yes, I do. Because one of the number one killers in our world is stress. So if I can relax someone, I'm doing a lot. I mean, and that's just the start of it. But two, there are so many different levels of what we do, so many different techniques that we do. And like I said, some people are bringing our language up a notch to try to kind of battle that, but also it's just making people aware how good touch is. And I had a neighbor / client who contacted me, said that she She was like, she can barely walk around now. You know, she has
Yeah,
a lot
it's
going
really
on.
bad.
And she was
Yeah.
like, please, please.
Exactly.
So-
People are craving it, and craving it not as like not like I miss ice cream, craving it
No.
like I need to breathe.
I need,
And I
yeah,
think that's the difference.
I
Like
can
it's
barely
not a
move.
luxury, it is quite literally a necessity. There's a couple questions up here that I want to get to. Number one, somebody was saying that they know a local massage therapist who got infected by a client, which is so sad. And I personally think that PT clinics shouldn't be open right now. I mean, I think that they're considering PT an essential business, but I definitely think that I'm laying on more of the conservative side of how to handle reemerging. I am definitely like, we reemerge when there's testing and vaccinations. Like I'm way conservative. And I know a lot of people don't agree with me on that, but I definitely feel like, I just think we still don't know enough is my basic thought. The other thing, and Diane, just to interject if you have anything to say.
I was just thinking, you know, I don't see how, I mean, as far as the contact part of it and how close we are to people, PT and us, I don't feel like it's that much different on just a contact level. And then I have a lot of chiropractors are still open. And I know some of the older style chiropractors like jump on top of people and twist and turn. So I don't see how that's, you know, for me, the only reason that I think it would apply would be the proximity, like how close we get to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's no different than a lot of other people. So if they're shutting us down for the touch part, there's still a lot of businesses operating with that touch. I'm with you. I'm very conservative when it comes to something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all the research out there right now is a hypothesis
Right.
in that there's just not enough time that has gone by.
You
So
don't know
for me,
enough.
do I want to
Yeah.
see one of my therapists getting deathly ill? Well, I never have wanted to see my therapist getting deathly ill. That's why we clean and change sheets and do all that stuff. But this again is a little different. Lava, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that we just don't know enough. My take on it is that we just don't know enough, and I just feel like I want to be safe. I mean, I don't want to risk it. I think there's a lot of us that have this feeling of like, I'm fine. I'm so healthy. And even if I get it, I'm just going to get sick and I'll get better. Like I'm young enough, I'm strong enough, my immune system is good enough. But I definitely think that it's so much more about spreading it. And we just don't know. There's still so much that we don't know. It's showing up in weird ways. And I don't want to mess around with it. But it comes back to the idea of, like you were saying, Diane, I mean, physical therapists and chiropractors are really still doing this work that is very soft tissue manipulation oriented work. And there's nobody there going, you didn't wash your hands or you're not wearing gloves. And that regulation becomes hard to manage. And then it just becomes like, who is actually touching who? And that feels a little unnerving to me. It feels a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's lots of things that we can do to stay safe. And I think that if there's anybody out there who knows about hygiene, it is massage therapists. But I think that, we're at a new level and things are just a little bit weird. Somebody else wrote, a lot of massage therapists do not want to be considered part of healthcare. And I don't know many massage therapists like that, but I feel like my immediate thought is, why not? I think healthcare, maybe I'm wondering if it's about the fact that healthcare is considered kind of a Western medicine square, and we're trying to fit a round peg into a square hole, or whatever the saying is. I definitely think that. Yeah, I think that healthcare is so much more about not just like blood pressure and heart rate and cholesterol levels. I think it's so much more about literally creating a cellular response so that the hormones that are firing in your body are positive, so that you can metabolize things well, so that you can sleep well, so that you can hydrate well, like all the things that keep us mentally balanced and stable. And I think that is where massage therapy comes in and plays a massive role. And in that way, I think we are massive healthcare providers.
You know what? As you're talking and as I'm thinking about that, like they letting that question set in, it reminds me back, in the earlier days of massage too. It's like what we do. I think the ultimate goal of a massage therapist is to help the person discover the cause of their pain. Yeah. Not just constantly working on
not the Band-Aid,
right? Fixing it and then the cause. So again, like
The source.
the art, I understand that. The healthcare, as we know it, just like some people would say God, you know, they want to put that when you say God, some people freak out because it has so much baggage with it. Like healthcare, I think also is one of those words that kind of freak some people out. You know? But I do think that I think that we're definitely, you know, the group of people that can help people discover the cause, because the only time I think, this is just my opinion and I'm getting fired up, the only time I think you can figure out what the symptom is to understand where it's coming from, and that's to get to the cause.
So I wanna elaborate on that a little bit, because I am obsessed with Glennon Doyle. I don't know if anybody out there is obsessed with her like I am, but I'm obsessed with Glennon Doyle. And one of the things that she says all the time is feelings are meant to be felt. And I have always had that mentality around pain. Like pain is meant to be felt. I think it's something that a lot of massage therapists are taught in school, but I think it becomes deeper when we look at exactly what Diane was just saying. Like there is this idea that when we have pain, lots of people, and I think our culture very specifically is kind of like suffocate the pain, get the pain to go away. And
bad.
Right. And pain is a bad thing. And I do think that it is, you know, I don't want us to live in pain, but I think when it shows up, it's super important to be able to, especially the kind of pain that we deal with. I'm not talking about heart attack pain. Like if you're having a heart attack, don't sit there and feel it, like go to the hospital. But if if you're having an ache in your shoulder or something that is soft tissue related, I think that it's really important to sit in it and feel it in the way that feelings are meant to be felt, in the way that gives us information, right? That is going to be the root of it. And that's where we come in. Like we sit and we talk and we can manage soft tissue dysfunction over the course of a whole session or multiple sessions and create a different kind of healthcare, coming back to the question, coming back to a different kind of creating a different kind of healthcare that is so much more about wholeness and not squareness.
And I'm not sure. I am by far not the anatomy whiz of the century. I'm the first to admit that, although I've been studying diligently
Nice.
in this pandemic. I am ready for a quiz later, right?
Awesome.
But you and I were talking about before we went on that, so much starts in our mind, right? So if it all, like, it doesn't start like that, I don't feel that there, I feel it kind of here, and so again, getting people to calm and relax and discovering those causes on themselves, you're not going to be able to undo something you don't understand. You can't go around it. You have to go through it. You have to go through it. So the person in pain has to feel the pain and kind of understand it a little bit. We just can't go doink. Well, pop up. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So all of that coming back to the fact that I think healthcare is a much broader term than maybe some people give it credit.
Good point. I like it. I like it.
Yes.
There's lots of things up there. You're good at reading. What do we got?
How do you manage massaging family members who need the work, who typically gets massaged by another therapist for valid reasons, trying to avoid transference and countertransference? That is a good question, because
that's
all the things that come up with working on a family member or loved one, it is like,
it's intense.
It is intense.
I have to say, family members, now please don't judge me. Like, I massaged my dad when I got out of massage school. I was so excited to massage everyone. I massaged my dad and I was like, I'm never doing that. I don't think I'm ever going to do, because it's like, you want to push, for me, I want to push people. I want them to, it's just, for me, it was too much for me to massage family members. My wife, of course, do I give her full blown massages? Not often enough, maybe, but also having her see someone else, I think is really important, because then she can really relax.
Yes. And then whatever. Yeah. I mean, I just think
it's a tricky one.
I think in general, it's smarter to not work with family members and loved ones, but I think this question is kind of coming out of the fact that we are in a pandemic. And like, when you have somebody who's been getting lots of work and you're sitting there and you're living with them and you're like, I'm a massage therapist, I could work on you. Like, I could do that. How do you manage all of that? I think that becomes around, your ability as a massage therapist to stand in a moment and literally, as best as you can, take off one hat and put on another. And I think that's the trick. I think it has to be quite literally, you're the one dictating the feeling of the moment. So it's really easy for them to feel discombobulated and confused and kind of like, you know, you're starting to work deeply and they're like, wait, I can tell you to F off because you're my loved one, or I can like punch you and I don't have to be appropriate. And if you're the one kind of going, no, that's not appropriate. And what we need to do here is actually think a little bit more professionally and let's talk about what's going on anatomically, or, you know, what are you feeling more deeply? If you can maintain that professional hat, I think that's going to help dictate the feeling of the moment.
I agree totally, because there are a lot of therapists at Freedom Massage. They have family members coming in, and their family members won't see anybody else. And I think that was another great point by the Rebel. Another fabulous point too. It's like as a boss, I am a boss, right? But I also have a personal relationship with some of my staff, like I would say as far as a friendship, you know, and I have that relationship with people who can wear those different hats with me. So just like a therapist too, I think that you can, certain therapists are able to do that with certain family members. And while you're in a pandemic, I would suggest don't hold back.
Practice it. Practice. Yeah. I think it's also, I think exactly for what Diane was saying, I think this is the best time to practice that. And I think one of the best ways this shows up, I was having this conversation the other day with other colleagues, and I think one of the things that we do as humans is we sit in our space and we look out all the time, and we look out and we look out, and we're constantly like, how do I feel about that? How do I feel about that? How do I feel about that? And I think that's great, and it gives us a lot of information, but I think it's also important to flip that sometimes and be the person that's going, what are they seeing in me? What are they perceiving? And how am I coming across? And I think like the example that I used recently that I think is really intense and appropriate to what's happening right now is like, I was out for a walk outside recently, and I found myself reacting to fear. I found myself feeling the fear that is just the pandemic of the fear that's happening right now. Like I found myself walking by somebody and going, I can't even look at them. I can't even look. I'm not supposed to look. I'm not supposed to touch. I'm not supposed to breathe. I'm not supposed to do anything. And this fear overwhelmed me. And then I was like, okay, do I want to be that person? And who do I look like right now? So I think this ability to practice taking all the internal chaos that's inside, setting it aside, putting on the hat of like, I know what's logical and what's right in this moment. And I know that I can say hi to you. And that's not how you pass COVID-19. Like I know that I can, I can say 6 feet apart or more, and I can just wave, and that's an okay thing. And I don't have to let the fear dictate it. So it's not just about fear. It's about, you know, whatever it is, when it comes to transference and countertransference, whatever the emotion is you're having about that person, can you take that emotion and can you set it aside? And I think that's an important thing to practice. It's just like practicing meditation. It's just like practicing, you know, whatever workout you do or good nutrition. You've got to practice the ability to mentally be able to set aside something and be a certain person in a moment that is important for the people who are around you.
I couldn't agree more. And I think too, you just touched on something real quick. And that is too, what is touch like right now? What are ways that, what do we can do? Like one of the things that I've been doing is going through my phone, and I've been calling so many people and just saying hello. You know, how else can we touch people on an emotional level? Because like we were saying, if they're stressed out or having a bad day, sometimes just a nice call or a nice reaching out to people. So I know one of the things that I've been doing is I've been calling so many people. Have you been calling people?
And I'm not as good as it at you. You are phenomenal at it. I mean, I've said this about Diane a million times over, but I love her because I'm always like, my phone will ding and she's like, hi, just thinking about you. And I'm like, oh, love that so much. But yes, I'm trying. But yes, it's another way of touching. It's another way of communicating. And especially not just with friends and family, but with clients or colleagues or anybody.
Let your clients know you're thinking about them.
Yeah, making that community stay strong. Oh, so much to talk about, so much going on. Are you reading some of these comments, Diane?
Yeah. I'll let you. You seem to be taking over the leading role. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm not.
Read away.
I do that sometimes. Like,
I love it.
just take over.
I love it.
I've been working with my clients virtually via telewellness. That's amazing. I'm finding that to be efficient as I am in educating them about their bodies and getting decent results, that's huge and amazing. I'm also getting lots of calls regarding when I will open. I've had clients to ask me to go to their homes, I'm assuming, or to their own homes. I think that telewellness is amazing. I love that idea. I don't know if you want to say anything about that, Diane. I have a little
do,
to say
again,
about
like
that, yeah.
if there's a way to help people relax or self-massage, I don't think that's a horrible thing at all. I mean, if it's working, it's working for sure. I think it's a good thing to try different things.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, I had a friend who his wife just had a baby, and she has been so uncomfortable since the birth. And I said, well, we're not allowed to practice, but here's what I'll do. If you've been quarantined, I've been quarantined, I would come over and do a couple stretches, or we could get on Zoom and I could show you guys things that you could do at home together. So, I mean, there's like, there are still options, I think, to be helpful. So,
yeah.
Hi, Bobby.
Yeah.
So
that's telewellness for sure. I think but this is what we hear medicine is doing right now. So doctors and nurses are learning how to practice virtual medicine, and they have to get certified in it. It's a whole new thing that's happening, but there's no reason we can't either. And I was just saying to Diane before we started that I think before this all hit, I had this mentality in my head that there was no way you could teach a hands-on class virtually. And now I'm doing it. And I'm feeling like it's working. And I'm feeling like the people who are in the class are actually getting a lot of good material from it. And I think that, the doors that are opening with what we can do virtually is huge. So I love whoever that was that said that they're practicing telewellness with their clients. That's one of the things that I think elevates who we are in the healthcare profession. I think, so doctors and nurses are now training to do virtual medicine. Why aren't we doing that as well? There's no reason, like exactly with Diane's story, like I can sit and I can Zoom with you and I can talk to you about what you can be doing in your home.
Yeah, actually, it's like really sinking in now. I think that really is a good idea. I mean, offering a massage session via Zoom would be a little strange because I don't know how that would work, but I think checking in with clients, seeing how they're doing and getting some face-to-face time might not actually be, that would be a really nice idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think there's always a difficulty with change. Always. I mean, change is hard. Transition is hard, but I think that, this pandemic has pushed us in a direction that a lot of us were a little feeling already like, I don't know that I want to do that. I don't know that I like being on social media. I don't know that I like Zooming and Skyping. I don't know that I
Zoom.
like.
I fall in love with Zoom.
I'm in love with it.
We have a meeting every week, Freedom Massage.
Yeah.
And I think it's more comfortable. Everyone's in their own home. We don't have to get together 13 people, and all meet somewhere. Everyone's in the comfort of their own home. Same with the class to a degree. I think it's a wonderful movement.
I do too. And I think there comes to be a time where this is more about, like, if you don't speak the language, you're gonna kind of fall off the radar. And that I think there are enough people who don't want to speak this language and they're gonna stick with you. But I also think that if you can learn to speak the language, then you're going to move forward and grow with how the world is growing and evolving. And I think this pandemic has pushed us in that arena. I have a lot to say about why people are scared of online everything. I think there's a lot to be scared of if you let yourself be scared of it, but there's also a lot to not be scared of. And if you have more information about how algorithms work and have more information about how search histories work and how, there are, how the internet works in general, it might quell your fears. And being able to be online and be able to talk to somebody virtually, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same. I would definitely rather be in person with somebody, but if this is the language, I want to learn it. So I think there's an essential part of what we're doing that needs to be kind of keeping up with the times.
And there is that breed of people too who are more comfortable not in person. You know, and more comfortable talking like this than being face to face. Some people have so much anxiety just leaving the house, you know. So for me, it's been kind of cool connecting with a lot of different kinds of people on the Zoom. And like I said, for us too, we have a couple ethics classes that we teach at Freedom Massage, and we're doing it on Zoom, you know. And now we're not going to just be teaching the scope of practice in Pennsylvania, but we'll be able to teach scope of practice across the country. And to me, that's really cool, you know. So there is lots of cool stuff happening. And you are definitely on the forefront of the online community, for sure. I mean, you have been doing it longer than anyone and building that empire for a long time. So it's amazing.
I'm still reeling about the connection of it all. I mean, I think you and I have talked about this a bunch of times, Diane, but I think like the fact that you live in Pennsylvania and I live in California and we feel so close to each other feels phenomenal to me. And that's the kind of thing that I wouldn't know you has had technology not been a way that we can communicate.
And too, like that, like not being afraid to put yourself out there. Had you not put yourself out there years ago, and had I not been, you know, put myself out there, like that's how a lot of great things happen. So if you're nervous and you're a little hesitant with social media stuff, I think it's good to find someone that you can talk to about it, you know, send emails, touch base with people who are doing it. And
somebody just wrote, I offer telewellness initially free of charge, which is such a good idea, but now I charge and they don't mind paying. Of course. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I also offer lymphatic wellness coaching via telewellness. That's amazing. What a great, even just a great kind of like beginning standard. Like maybe we start by meeting over virtual and that feels like an easy thing for you. Maybe you can get to know me that way, because it is a little scary to kind of dive into a session with a massage therapist and not know them at all. So what an amazing door that's open, right?
It's like making so much sense. I love it.
I love that.
I'm getting fired up now because too, when back in the 90s, when I started my business, you know, the reason that I kind of swept through the county and this whole area was because I had my picture on my brochures of me doing massage. They're very, very stylish. And I was doing massage and people were just like, I love being able to see you before I came. You know, like I just felt like I knew you then a little bit. You know, I kind of had a feel for what I was walking into instead of walking into a complete stranger's office. You know, at least you have that. So I love the idea. I don't know, Freedom Massage therapist, if you're listening, we might have to do some Zoom interviews before clients come in or something. I don't know. I think that'll be fun.
I think it's a really good idea. If you think about it, like when you started, just like you said, Diane, you started and there was brochures. Like that's how I started. We brochured and we gift certificates and like that kind of stuff. And then it became about websites. Like you needed to have a website. And then it became about social media. Like you needed to have an Instagram account and a Facebook account. And that's still very relevant. But now maybe it's becoming, maybe this is the next phase. Like maybe like having an initial tele-wellness interview is like a great next kind of like, this is what we offer here at Freedom Massage. This is what we offer here at Rebel Massage. Like we're ready to sit down with you and just chat with you in the comfort of your own home, take the fear out of it, and like welcome you into who we are and what we do. I think that's such a beautiful idea. Do it, Diane.
And I know too, like figure this, right? If I want to take a class, when I took classes in New York with Ohashi, and even, well, when you and I did a class, that's a different ballgame. But like when I went up and, you know, to travel to New York, then to pay for a room and then pay for the class, you know, so there are some benefits. And how close do you get to, I mean, you're kind of watching the instructor from afar anyway, and there is some coaching with hands-on stuff, but all in all, I mean, with a lot of practice, and I'm sure you can contact the teacher for pointers. I think, you know, maybe it's not a bad thing now that we're talking about it. I have to admit, I was a little like the tele-wellness, because I've seen that a couple times. I was like, oh, but I just want you to know, everyone, how open-minded I am, because I can't, and I think that's important. You got to stay open. That's how I've lasted for 20 years. Because now I'm like, that is an interesting idea. You know?
Yeah, the world is shifting at an unbelievably rapid pace, and it can feel a little overwhelming sometimes. But I think somebody just posted that they have taken this time away from massage and they've just kind of focused on being a mom. But there's definitely this element to all of this. I mean, granted, hopefully nobody out there that we know and love is sick and suffering, but there is an element to all of this that we have all been able to take a nice big deep breath and just kind of like look at life a little differently, and we're given a different perspective. And I think that's a good thing. And so I feel like even if you've taken this time to take some time away from the work, I think a lot of massage therapists have the ability to work too hard. Like we don't say no. We consistently see too many clients in a day or in a week, and we burn out. And I feel like this has been a great opportunity to just go.
I mean, I miss my peeps from the bottom. Hi, Bobby. I miss my peeps from the bottom of my heart, you know, but I have been working for a really long time. For me, it's been like, and I always, like, when I would want to stop, my brain would find a way where I could keep going.
Yeah.
It would find a way, something I had to do. But now I literally have nothing that I could possibly do really at Freedom Massage for clients or for my staff. Mm-hmm. Everything now is just it's a bonus, you know? So for me, it's been like, whew, I'm with that person. I've just been like taking a minute. So
it's another beautiful perspective of this whole thing. I mean, I think there are an unbelievably amount of amazing silver linings coming out of this. And I think that for me is the biggest one. Like I have been working a lot for sure, but I'm so appreciating the time with my kids and the time with my boyfriend, and just looking into sitting and being and not feeling so, I have to go, I have to get my kids here, I have to get my kids there, I have to go do this next thing, I haven't gone grocery shopping. Like, it's crazy. So
that's one of the things too that I think is important. One of the things that I've been doing, and we're going to probably have to wrap us up soon, but one of the things that I've been doing is to like thinking when I wake up, and, you know, sometimes when I'd feel like a little like, oh, I got to, you know, you wake up almost a little anxious sometimes, or at least I do. And I just been like, what is causing that? Mm-hmm. What in the world is causing that? What is so important? Because whatever I thought was so important has waited a month.
Yeah.
Because I've been closed for a month. So when I start waking up in June, I will be like, oh, that doesn't have to be done right now because it's already in the past. I mean, you know, not silly things like writing bills, but like that pause. Like, I'm a big fan of that pause in so many areas. And I think giving yourself that pause, like, just I try not to make decisions right away. Like, I've always given myself a pause, but also just giving myself a pause from the pressure that I put on myself, that I think the world needs me to spin. Well, the world has been spinning just fine. I'm sure a lot of people miss their massage, and we're going to get back. You know, we're going to get back, and we're going to be stronger than ever.
Yeah, I want an encore. That's awesome. Some really, really sweet comments. I want to know about The Artist Way. I feel like I've heard of that book. I'm not sure what it is, but I want to hear about it. I'm going to look it up. I just want to chime into what you just said, because I think it's what the most incredible thing that I've seen across the board is that massage therapists can preach self-care till the cows come home, but we tend to be the worst at it. We tend to be the ones who will work and burn out. And I just, like, the world will keep spinning. It will. And we will be fine.
It has. Like I said, I'm like counting the minutes till I get my first massage. I'm actually thinking about maybe being one of those people, like getting a hold of some of my massage friends and being like, hey, I've been quarantined. You've been quarantined. Why don't you come on over? I mean, because I like miss that touch like nobody's business. And I know there's hundreds and thousands of people out there that love massage and are dying to get back in for a session, and who respect us and respect themselves enough to do it when we're ready, when you're ready. So just know that they're going to come. This too shall pass, and everything happens for a reason, you know, everything.
Yep. And I love all of everybody, what you guys have been saying. I love our community so much. And I'm beyond thankful that Diana's put this together and creates these amazing talks with these amazing people. And I just think that the massage therapy community is my favorite, and we're gonna kick it when this thing passes.
Strong group of people. And if you did miss it, I noticed someone wrote, sorry, I missed it. You can always, I leave these up on the page. You can also go to videos up on the top of the Facebook page, and you can rewatch all the videos that I've ever done. And some of my personal favorites are right here with the Rebel, because we got
a good energy. We have a good energy. I love it. I love it.
All right. Anybody else? Anything, Rebel? What else do we have? How do we want to leave it?
I just think, yeah, keep thinking about if you are having a thought about something, chances are 9 bazillion other people are having that same thought. So just kind of keep that peace in your heart and stay safe and stay sane.
We will all keep up the good work.
Aw.
So someone asked
Thanks,
what
guys.
She's doing all kinds of stuff online.
I'm working on lots of things next. I've got a tech video, both painting and actual technique video that I'm working on. So that's kind of my next most immediate endeavor. Long-term endeavors, lots of things, including this woman right here, Diane.
Oh yeah, so we are going to do another business class, probably over the
next. We
want
to do another business class. Yep. And then when this whole thing lifts, we have lots of big plans for the future.
All right, everybody. Hang on, Rebel, and I'm going to stop the. All right. Bye, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Stay safe, and hopefully next time we see you will be the first Tuesday of June, and some of this will have passed.
Please,
bye.
thank you.
Thank you, Rebel. It's good to see you.